Hello everyone, it is spring here in Australia. Yay! I know a lot of you are really enjoying the onset of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, and it seems to be a very well respected and popular, if you can call it that, season. For me, spring is my favorite time of year. I sound like a typical Scorpio, I think, because it is the rebirth out of the winter months, which is death, obviously. And when I see the little buds forming on trees and flowers blooming, butterflies, returning to the back garden, I really find it a beautiful time of year. The other reason, or the main reason I'm making this video, is that I won a competition. I know, it's not kind of my normal MO to enter competitions, let alone win them. And I was really thrilled, and actually couldn't believe when I heard my name drawn out of the beautiful velour bag. Where was this? Well, let me share. I discovered the most beautiful, articulate, interesting woman, and her name is Jessi Huntenburg. I'm trying to remember, was it her WordPress site that I found first, or was it her YouTube? I think it was her YouTube channel, just playing around looking for different tarot things. But I will say Jessi does discuss other subjects as well, and I think she is super intelligent, highly articulate, and I do admire people who have a very strong command of the English language, and I can sit there and listen to them all day. So that's why I began to watch very regularly her video releases. And hello, Jessi. And yes, I will continue to do so. I also love her articles on her WordPress site, which, let me just double check. I think it's jessihuntenburg.wordpress.com. That's it. Now, Huntenburg is Huntenburg. Now, what happened was, I'm just getting this back on my lapo because I wanted to read something to you. Jessi decided that she'd put out a little competition and the winner would receive a free reading. And it's so interesting because she said, I want this reading to go to somebody that really needs it. I guess you could say we all really need a read. I mean, most of the time we can certainly do with some guidance and clarity, especially from somebody that you do not know. And all that was required, you were a subscriber, and just please leave a comment down below. So I thought it was a very smooth run. And by the way, this is a few weeks ago, and may I say, the fact that I'm coming to you a good 3 weeks after this occurred is mostly my doing, because I was out of town, and then Jessi was out of town, and I had the most ridiculous fortnight after that, and it took me a little while to get back to her to give her my details. So this is not because she took a while, it's because I took a while. And once I wrote to her and just explained very briefly what my question is, her read came back to me like the next day. She was very efficient, so I just want to make that clear. So what happened was, Jessi offered me a 6-card spread, and I decided, because I am going through numerologically a year of change, and I love change, and I am a 5 birth path, so it's a part of my DNA. There's a lot going on in a year of change for me, and this particular cycle of change is even more so. And it took me by surprise because studying numerology and following it for so long, I have been paying attention to my personal year cycles for years and years. And what you do in numerology, or what you can do, is, even though you're going 1 through 9, backtrack. When you hit a 4-year, have a look at your 4-year 9 years ago, because that story is a continuation of itself also. So when I look at my 5 years over, the last 30 years, that's why it's great to keep a diary, people, because you'd be surprised what you forget. I paid particular attention to the changes that occurred and how they were very external. Now, I'm not suggesting I haven't changed internally. Starting my 5-year last November, it seemed to be inside, all this internal shift and swirling. So my philosophies began to change, my goals began to change, yet I look around, it's all the same. So that was highly unusual. Scorpios, generally speaking, are very determined people and very decisive. And once you decide, boom, nothing's going to stop you. I found my Libra ascendant has taken over the last couple of years, and I became quite indecisive, which annoys the living daylights out of me, can I just say. I mean, it's okay, weigh it up, I get that, but then however, falling into indecision is really quite something else. I'm over it, okay? So sometimes I get frustrated with myself. Come on, you've got the ingredients, do it. But that wasn't like the crux of it. When I wrote to Jessi, I basically explained to her that I feel because I'm changing, what I do needs to change. And I feel I need to do what I'm doing, but do it differently. And the only thing that I was able to come up with is to perhaps move towards a more of an online presence rather than a private, residence. So I work from home, and I have been practicing face-to-face readings and healings for 10 years. I'm not sure where to take things next, because I still get this feeling that I need to do what I do differently. But what is that exactly? And so I do spreads for myself. I've never had a problem with that. And I would get, it's like the same theme, but mixed messages in the detail. So it was getting a little bit tricky for me to make sense of it. So what happened was Jessi did for me a beautiful 6-card spread. And I'll show you a shot of the image that she sent me. And it's so beautiful. She surrounded the 6 cards with various crystals. And she also, let me have a look. I've just lost it. Yes, she chose sandalwood for my reading because it's uplifting and meditative, and facilitates connection with spirit and intuition. Perfect. So without going through it step by step, because this is going to go on way too long, there are a couple of points that I wanted to share with you because I could really relate to it very personally. And so, but when she said this, the first position talks about your current psycho-spiritual state. And Jessi wrote, "You are an open book. After a period of spiritual malaise, you discovered that your coffers are magically full and you're eager to share your light with the world." That's very true. You've tapped into the frequency of abundance and you're resonating at such a high pitch that you're having difficulty channeling these energies. This is why your cards are giving you mixed messages. You have much to give, but you're not quite sure who to give it to. Wow. Okay. Now that might sound general to you, but believe me, when I first opened this, I wrote to Jessi straight away and said I actually felt a shot of energy up my spine. And when I read that, you're an open book, that is me. I really am. But I'm a private open book. When I studied acting, I always remember my teacher, God rest her soul, Zika, she's up there with the angels now. And she said, you have to have the heart of a dove and the hide of an elephant. And you know, that makes me want to cry just talking about it, because it's just so true. Tapping into stuff, right? And I better not lose the plot just yet, but I just think that's so apt. But the positions are your current psycho-spiritual state, what you need to leave behind in order to move forward, what you need to embrace in order to move forward, the direction your path is leaning towards, the energies currently working through you, the energies that you need to facilitate your transformation. So it's called the transformation reading. So she goes on to say, the realm of the shadow is now calling to you. In order to make the most of this transition, be open to exploring the darker aspects of yourself. What are your fears in relation to the transformation you're undergoing? How are they clouding your judgment? What are your doubts and where do they stem from? Ruminating on these seminal questions will help you clarify your position in regards to the direction of your business. It'll also help you identify the valid concerns from limiting beliefs. Now, I just think that is so beautifully written. That's so succinct and so informative. It's deep, yet very easy to understand. I just think she's a champion. I love it. Thank you. And yes, of course, I can relate. I have been self-exploring for 30 years, but it's never too late to hear this message, is it? And, you know, further down, I'll read you another piece before I conclude, but I did ask myself, you know, if you're self-exploring, yeah, but what are you doing about it? And that's why I think getting a read like this reminds you. You can sit there and justify yourself and say, oh, yes, I'm looking into this, and I never stop researching. That's what I do. But are you taking action on it? Are you really taking it further than the diary or not? And this really got me thinking. So she goes on to say, you are perched at the threshold and a multitude of energies and perspectives are fighting for dominance. So it's no surprise to me that the devil appeared in this position. In conjunction with the Seven of Swords and the Moon, this tells me that you need to fully explore your doubts and misgivings before you make any big decisions. You feel the pull to strike out into new territory, and that's amazing. Nothing is more exciting than a personal revolution. But before you can make the leap, it's important to figure out exactly what it is that you want, spiritually, personally, and professionally. And of course, that is my dilemma. What exactly? I know what it is, but the specifics still elude me. They are behind a veil. I can sense them, but I can't tangibly hold them at this point. I'm putting myself under pressure to find this solution. So I found that to be extremely helpful and very poignant. So last, but certainly not least, she wraps up my reading by saying, excuse me, sorry. You are a giver, a healer, a woman filled with light and compassion. Both the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles affirm this. The latter, however, entreats you to channel an additional charitable energy. Now that really affected me also physically. That's very, very true. I know when I feel it, there's the message. This is the one that I really need to kind of embrace on all levels. Those around you feel the warmth of your light. Now it is time to give the wealth of your wisdom, your knowledge. You've learned so much on your journey, and your stories and experiences are incredibly valuable to community. And see, that's straight away I went back to my kinesiology teacher saying, you are here to inspire. Notice he said inspire, not teach. I may not be the teacher of teachers, but it's just about sharing my journey in order to help you, not to share my journey for ego reasons. And I guess that's the thing. I'm trying to find the right formula in order to do that. So when Jessi said that, I really felt a very strong pull towards those words. You've learned so much in your journey, blah, blah, blah. I see a relationship between this card and the trio of the Devil, the Moon, and the Seven of Swords. You fear vulnerability. If you share yourself, you open yourself to be judged, and not just by those in your immediate locality, but those all over the world. This makes so much sense, and I'm sure it's something every light worker who embraced the internet community has felt. It's okay to take steps while you're working through these difficult feelings. Sometimes it's the only way to truly overcome them. Before you leap headlong, this reading suggests that you take a moment to visit with yourself. Redefine your desires, redefine your needs. All the while, take some time to engage with people and activities that bring you joy. This will both fortify your strength for the path to come and help you. Let me see, I'm not reading that right. This will both fortify your strength for the path to come and help you find clarity to determine what form that path will take. And there it ends. Wow. So, to sum up, I relate to everything that Jessi says. There's nothing in there that I thought, oh, really? Kind of, sort of, not really. So she's on the money. But what this read reminds me is that I need to take it further. I think a lot of the things that she says here are things that my ego can say, I have done that. But I think some of them remain a concept. And I need to re-examine what action did I actually physically take towards that goal. So maybe I feel like I've done it, but I haven't really. And that's a very, very valuable piece of information that came through this read. So I'm just over 30 minutes. Hopefully I'll edit this down a bit. But I had to share and say, Jessi, thank you so much. I'm really, really chuffed that I won the competition. Thank you for an amazing read. Please check out Jessi's YouTube channel. It is just under her name, and Jessi Huntenburg, sorry. And you will really enjoy her highly articulate, honest, open journeys into tarot, witchcraft, and life itself. So on that wonderful note, I'm going to first of all thank you all for sticking with me. I know this is a little bit longer than perhaps it should be, but again, I'm practicing sharing my world and just opening my private world to you. And yeah, I have to say I'm open to comments, and let's just see how we go from there. So again, thank you very much. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. More videos to come. Got to get it together now. So thanks again, and talk to you soon. Bye.